Hello everyone and welcome to this review of the Mondraker Foxy 29, the 2020 model. This is also the alloy version, so that is the least expensive version of the Foxy, but it's certainly not the worst version of the Foxy because it's a really nice bike. And let's jump straight into the components. So up front we have a Fox 36 rhythm fork with 160 millimeters of travel. There I have the Shimano 501 brakes paired with there are two piston and paired with a 200 millimeter rotor. Tires, there are Maxxis Mini DHR2s with 2.4 width. 780 millimeters wide bars, that's okay because this is an XL. And the rear wheel travel is being handled by the Fox Float DPX2 shock that has 150 millimeters of travel. Power is sent to the rear wheel via the SRAM SX Eagle drivetrain with 12 speed that have a really big range. And the rear wheel is the Maxxis Aggressor with 2.3 inches wide. And as you can see there, I made a little mud guard for the rear shock because a lot of mud was shot by the rear tire into that shock, and I was afraid that it's gonna break over time. So I made a little DIY mud guard, and there, as you can see, there's a on-off seat post, and I have no problem with that. It just works. So now let's talk about the riding, and we'll start with going uphill. This bike is like an average climber. It's a big enduro bike, and its geometry is also not that good for climbing. It has a 66 degree of head angle and 76 degree of seat tube angle. The bike is not the lightest also. It has a 15.2 kilograms with pedals. The SRAM SX Eagle has a really wide range, and that helps a bit. I always find the right gear when going uphill, but when I'm going on a really steep uphill, I often find myself lifting the front wheel up and doing a wheelie. And sometimes when it's a really big steep uphill, I will find myself doing a hike a bike up that hill. Okay, and now let's talk about the downhill. And frankly, it's awesome. The bike is like a monster truck. It just goes over everything. Like it has good front grip because of that big 2.4 wide tire, and it's really stable because of that really long wheelbase and that reach. Although it's not that playful as other bikes, because when I tried to learn the bunny hop on this bike, I found the back end a bit too heavy, but maybe I'm just too used to a hardtail. But my only complaint is that the bike has only two piston brakes. I'm a heavier rider, and for me it's not that good. Maybe the four piston brakes would be helpful for me, but maybe for you they would be all right. But don't get me wrong, you can have a lot of fun with this bike. As you can see, I'm having a lot of fun with this bike on the screen. This was my first ride on this bike, or the first downhill ride on this bike. I am the one in front and my friend is behind me recording. And as you can see, the conditions are not that good because it was quite cold and quite sleepy under those leaves. Doesn't look like it, and the bike just handled it, and it's quite reliable as well. After 5 months and almost 400 kilometers, nothing came loose, fortunately. I'm checking the screws after almost every ride, and everything is still screwed in. The only thing is that actually today the seat post was not holding my weight properly when I was on a ride. But I think I fixed that. Maybe that's just because my seat clamp was too tight, or the seat post cable was in a weird position. I don't know. I think I will have that checked. But the whole package as it is, it's a pleasure to ride on. Like the fork, it's really good. I went from a Suntour, the budget Suntour, to this, and I can't even compare it to that. The bolt quality is also really good, apart from one little complaint I have, that the cables inside are rattling a bit. But still, it's a great bike that doesn't cost crazy amounts of money, but it's still not the cheapest. But for the money, you get a great enduro bike. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And yeah, stay safe and bye.